Ooka chaka, ooka, ooka, ooka chaka, ooka, ooka, ooka chaka, ooka, ooka, ooka chaka, ooka, ooka.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Well, welcome to another exciting edition of
Midwest Reviews.
Today we actually have a special friend of ours with us, Danny Gibson.
Hello, everyone.
And he went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy with us. We also have another friend of ours, Morgan.
Yes.
So anyway, today we're going to be reviewing
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Alright, so what did you guys think of the movie?
It was enjoyable, very enjoyable. It was amazing how they were able to make a successful movie of a comic book franchise that was not very popular. Hardly anyone, if you were not a comic book fan, you wouldn't have known who they were. And yet it's become the most grossing movie this year and the most talked about movie this year, and became a huge hit. So Marvel's on a roll right now, year after year, just making the best movies.
I mean, seeing the movie, it definitely surpassed every one of my expectations. I mean, I was there not as a fan, but just to go have fun to see this movie because I'd heard people talk about it. So I was like, okay, it looks kind of neat. But I mean, I was blown away by it. I mean, like you said, it's just Marvel really outdid themselves with this movie, and I hope there's more to come.
I think what they did was all the characters in the movie, but once you see them in the movie, they're characters that you like. And the thing is you got to approach it not so much as a superhero movie, because that's not what it's about. It's more like
It's more like
a Star Wars.
Star Trek mix. It's like those two movies rolled into one. That's what's cool about it.
And we're talking about J.J. Abrams' Star Trek and the original Star Wars trilogy. That type of mixture right there.
Yeah, like James Gunn was recently interviewed by the Screen Junkies channel and by Hal Rudnick, and he was asked if the movie would tie into the Avengers. He said we really don't see them ever, actually colliding. So, it's just one of those things.
That's not what I've heard. Guardians are supposed to be in Avengers Infinity.
Oh, well, maybe. Well, yeah,
It's all the same universe.
Yeah. But
Well, Morgan, do you have any input? Did you even see it?
Yeah, I did see it. I kind of like the soundtrack that they had on it.
yeah.
Little songs from the 80s.
Is there any one in particular you liked?
I liked Good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of the soundtrack, Cameron actually has something he wants to show you.
Yeah. So I actually bought the soundtrack from FYE. I looked all over the place, and this soundtrack, as you know, was #1 for weeks. I think for a whole month. And so it took me a long time to find it because every time that it was being put out, it was being sold out just as quickly as they were putting on the shelves. So I finally found a copy at FYE, and I bought it. And so they recently, as you probably know, that they recently came out with a cassette version for all the fans who wanted to put it on cassette. And the thing about the cassette, which was nice, and neat that they did that, but I don't like the fact that people on eBay are charging what they're charging for this cassette that was $7.99. So I went the alternative route, and so I was able to make my own Awesome Mix Volume 1. Same sound quality and everything, and it just works as good. So, but that's just a couple of the products that I have and cassette sounds like. But yeah, this is pretty cool because the back art looks like wood, kind of like in the movie. And then they have this. I thought that was really neat, like the comic book style of the Guardians. And then on this side you had Ronin's ship. So that was cool. That was cool to have Ronin's ship in this too. But and of course the disc itself looks like this. So he wants to show you his product now. So show him your product, sir.
All right. This is Star-Lord's blaster that was featured in the movie. This is actually a Nerf product, and it's really cool because it has 2 triggers on it. One actually released the blast shield on it, and you'll notice it doesn't fire. Well, what you do is you have to pull back on these 2 parts, and these 2 cannons actually fire independent of each other, which is actually pretty cool. And in our area, you couldn't find them for a while, and this was the only one that we could find. But currently cameras found them back in the stores. So anyway, that's just something that we wanted to feature.
Yeah, so I guess maybe we should now, I guess since we've talked about that and we talked about this, we should tell them our favorite songs on the soundtrack. And maybe you got to go first with your favorite song on the soundtrack.
Well, you know, sometimes I just get hooked on a feeling and something happens, you know.
Yeah, that was a good song. Danny?
You can't go wrong with "Come Get Your Love."
Yeah. And what about you, Morgan?
I'd have to say the same for Danny.
Yeah, Come Get Your Love. I honestly like that too. I think the opening sequence was probably one of the coolest things ever. Now, just to kind of sample, just a quick sample. I'm not gonna, bother you guys with the whole song or nothing, but
I do have to mention though that there's one song I don't like, and you guys may disagree. I know Cameron does.
yeah,
I really don't.
I do understand.
It sounds like a girly pop song. It's
Yeah,
Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb by the Runaways. But,
Cherry Bomb!
but let me show you a little bit. See if this gets up loud enough for you to hear it. But so now I'm going to show you. I'm going to preview one of the songs. I got it saved on here. The one I said that was my favorite. It was from the opening sequence. I just a little sample, but that's how it sounds. I thought it was pretty good. But anyways, any other thoughts that you guys want to bring out about the movie or like the sequel?
I think both Gamora and Zoe Saldana are very beautiful.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Touche. I have to agree that Zoe Saldana, she's a very attractive woman.
Yeah. Yes,
I think one of my favorite characters is Drax.
Oh yes.
Dude is nuts.
Yes.
But you know
yes.
what? He is. Just the way he interacts with the rest of them is funny because what's the scene in the movie where Rocket goes? His people are very literal.
Metaphors go right over his head.
Nothing goes over my head.
My
reflexes are too fast.
I would catch it.
We've seen it at least once or twice.
Yeah.
So your favorite obviously would be him as well, right?
Right. I really like. He was at first, he's a very kind of scary looking dude and menacing, but he Dave Bautista, but he was also very honorable and very honest and straightforward, and he had a good heart at the end, and he didn't kill Peter, or Gamora. And so he became a member of the family.
He's like,
so Drax and Groot, of course, are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah, I would have to say that him and Groot are my favorites. That I like them a lot. I mean, I love the others. I love Rocket. He's pretty funny, and I love what's his name?
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill, obviously. Star-Lord.
Stay tuned for part 2.